I want to salute all mothers in our country and mothers everywhere. We are entering day 5 now, and significantly, I am pleased to report that the process as it unfolds continues to confirm and vindicate the statements of poll that are in the possession of the PPP. As the process unfolds, also the fraud of claimant Mingo is being uncovered and unraveled right now in the station counting region 4 ballots. The fraud of Mingo is clearly being revealed. Not that anyone had any doubt that the figures that he disclosed were fraudulent, but the world is now being able to see the fraud being unraveled. As this process continues, and as the APNU AFC realize that they have lost the elections, you will see them becoming more and more desperate, and they will continue to attack the electoral process. You will recall that they fielded polling agents in every station. After the elections, they all complimented GECOM, and they all declared that the elections were run smoothly and cleanly. I just posted a video of Basil Williams speaking just after elections day, claiming that they have won the elections and the elections were done cleanly, in his words, by GECOM. I referred you yesterday or the day before to the president's last statement to the nation prior to the beginning of this recount, where he said that the elections were free and fair and orderly. Those are the words that he used to describe the elections. Now, because the elections, the recount process is proving that they lost the elections badly, you are now seeing that narrative that they are coming out to you with. And they are doing it without any shame. These are people who claim that they won this election. The elections were free and fair and regular and orderly. And suddenly, all the shenanigans and shenaniganism they are employing and engaging in order to detract credibility from the process. But they are not succeeding because the numbers in the boxes cannot change. And the numbers in the boxes on the statements of poll and the numbers on the ballots that are being counted is what is important and what will matter at the end of the day. So they can continue with their sideshows, but it will not detract from the numbers of ballots that have been cast. Significantly, despite all their objections, the PPP is getting more votes than we had on our statements of poll. I think we are ahead, I think about 10 additional votes thereabouts we have gotten from the process, the recount process. Significantly, I want to draw to your attention that a gentleman called me from Supply this morning. His name is Irshad Mohammed. And someone in the workstation texted him, they know him personally, to say to him that, look, GECOM is APNU agent in the station is claiming that you migrated. And the gentleman is at home. He voted on elections day, and they have made that reckless allegation that they continue to make without producing a scintilla of evidence that Irshad Mohammed has migrated, whereas Irshad Mohammed is at home. So they will continue with these irrelevance, and they will try to detract as far as possible from the main event, which is the national recount. But they will not succeed because the numbers cannot change. I want to also report that this ridiculous ban that they imposed on cell phones yesterday has been lifted. You know that APNU, Joe Harman, at a meeting with the chairman at GECOM last Saturday, had called for a ban on the use of cell phones. All the parties objected, and GECOM eventually allowed cell phones in, and that's part of the order as well. Now, yesterday, Ms. Myers unilaterally made a decision that they will not allow cell phones, and they posted a sign to that effect on the doors of all the workstations. We had instructed our people to ignore that sign anyhow and to use cell phones because that is what we fought for, and that is in the order. Fortunately, good sense prevailed, and they are now allowing the use of cell phones. And we plan to write the chairperson today to lodge a formal complaint about Ms. Myers' conduct. We feel that she is not acting in the best interest of GECOM. She's encouraging all these side shows to continue. Yesterday it is Ms. Myers who instructed that the containers close at 5 and don't release more boxes to count. We could have counted a box in each station. 10 boxes could have been completed between 5 to 7. But that decision eventually won the imprimatur of the chairman, unfortunately. And so we have to continue to fight for getting speed in the process, because there is obviously speed seems not to be a priority with GECOM. They want this process to run on forever, although they have given themselves a 25-day deadline. But we have to continue to agitate for a change and for the alacrity of the process to increase. So every day we have different battles and different challenges that we are uncovering, but most importantly, the numbers in the box are showing that the PPP won the elections and APNU AFC lost the elections.
Will the PPP be requesting the Commission to remove Ms. Myers from the recount process?
Yes, we are going to ask her them. You will recall that Ms. Myers was even the subject of critical commentary and condemnation by the international observers. And we spoke to GECOM about that. Mr. Lowenfield seemed to be behaving himself. Now Myers has gone awry. So we are going to request that unless she behaves herself. We don't want any favors from anyone. We want the process to be concluded and to run smoothly. We know that we have won the elections. We have said that from the beginning. APNU, AFC know that they have lost the elections. Yet they continue to squat in office and they don't want to undermine this process. But they will not succeed. They will not succeed. But we have to continue to meet the challenges that are presented to us and to overcome them. It's going to be a constant battle, but we are going to be here every single day, every hour, to unearth all the wickedness and highlight them to you and try to get them addressed in a successful manner.
Mr. Nandlall, you mentioned that some 10 additional votes, the PP would have received some 10 additional votes.
Possibly more than 10.
But could you explain how these votes were received? Is it that they weren't counted or based on...
Some votes that were deemed to be spoiled votes, when you examine the ballots, and we always know that that's going to happen. When you examine the ballots, they were PPP votes that were unlawfully deemed spoiled. And that has happened all the time, in every elections. That's why we had asked for a recount in 2015. Remember, we lost Region 8 by one single ballot. And in that ballot, in that region, there were over 28 spoiled ballots. I am convinced that were our request for a recount granted, we would have won that region. Because these things happen. They happen.
It's a mere 5% of the ballot boxes that has been counted so far. Don't you think it's too early to claim a victory at this point in this recount exercise?
Fariza, unless the ballots magically transform themselves, the PPP has won these elections. The statements of poll that GECOM gave us on election day establishes that without a doubt by over 15,000. So I can safely say that unless something magically happens and votes disappear, the PPP has won the elections. APNU knows that. Keith Lowenfield knows that. GECOM knows that. They have the evidence. Why do you think they're not making it public? Why do you think APNU, these people that are so hungry for political power, you think they would win an election and don't show the statements of poll? Oh man, come on. Look at the ridiculous lie that they're peddling to you every day. All they need to do is to say, this is our statements of poll. That's all they need to do. But they cannot do that because they have lost the election. So the answer to your question is, yes, even if it's 1%, we will win the elections because the votes can change in the box.
We're at day 5 of the recount exercise. Any major issues were raised so far during the process this morning?
This morning, no. But the same side shows people standing up and making these ridiculous objections that serial number 555, the person has migrated. How you know that? You're not producing a passport. You're not producing a departure document. Nothing. But how? Just let's go back. Let's logically examine these things. In that polling station where that person voted was an APNU polling agent. How did this person, who apparently is in America, voted and that APNU polling agent did not object? You all voted. You have to show your ID card or some form of identity that you are the person that you claim to be. Your name is on a list. When you vote, it's ticked off. The APNU agent is there observing the process. They signed on the statements of poll. They signed all of them, confirming that the statements of poll were accurate. Now what? All this, what are they telling the world now? That their counting agent and their polling agents were all fraudsters? They collapsed in the room. They were unconscious. They slept away. But when you are defending something that is defenseless or indefensible, you will run into problems of this type. You're going to sound ridiculous and you're going to make yourself a comedy show for the world to see. And that is what is going on. That is what this event is displaying and illustrating. And anyone who tries to come out here and talk differently is really ridiculing himself or herself.
Mr. Nandlall,
Were you a part of the observation process this morning?
No, not yet. I'm going in now.
Mr. Nandlall, we know that in Guyana, based on how our elections go, a small amount of votes can mean a lot because the race is usually tight. And you would have mentioned that party agents are normally at the various polling stations, etc.
Yes.
But are you concerned that in this case, in this recount, as you mentioned, the PP would have received 10 additional votes because of some ballots that were deemed spoiled, but they were not spoiled? Are you concerned about the efficiency of GECOM staff during elections?
It has always been our concern that GECOM staff should be recruited differently. We ask for GECOM staff to represent the people of Guyana when you look at the staff as a whole. And the staff must be recruited in a transparent process. These are concerns which we have expressed already. But 10 votes or thereabouts are insignificant. It will not change the outcome. The PPP has won the elections by over 15,000 or over 14,000 votes. So if we get a 10 more in the process or 100 more, it doesn't matter. It will not detract from, the fact that we have won the elections by the numbers that we have in our statements of poll. Look, Starbrook News did a beautiful editorial today in which they highlighted that elections every part of the world will unearth, if they are subject to deep analysis and examination, you will unearth some degree of irregularities. That is not unique to Guyana. That is what prevails worldwide in elections. No election is perfect. No electoral system is perfect. What is important is that you keep the margin of errors to an acceptable level. to an acceptable level. And the errors must not affect the output or the outcome of the elections. And whatever errors they are finding here will not affect 15,000 votes. And that is what is important.
Thank you, Mr. Nandlall.
Thank you very much.